You know, you got nice color skin. What color would you say that is?
My color.
The Osage. They have the worst land possible. But they outsmarted everybody.
As a filmmaker and a lover of history, my head turned when I heard film director Martin Scorsi was creating a new film, Killers of the Flower Moon. It led me to ask the question, how has Native American representation in Hollywood been treated up until now, and what can be learned from it?
They're like buzzards circling our people. We're still warriors.
Some questions I wanted to address throughout my research were, what are the pros and cons to past Hollywood Native American interpretations? When are we to question when someone is controlling the narrative? And how does Killers of the Flower Moon interpret the story of the Osage, and was it authentic to its original story? I have always been interested in learning about Native American culture and chose this project solely due to my interest in their history and their impact on the world today. I myself am of Italian, Greek, and French-German descent, but I intend to be respectful and empathetic when discussing the Native Americans and their story. Let's start off with a little bit of American history first. Before European settlers came to America, the first people who were originally here were Native Americans. Naturally, when there were settlers that came to America, there were great massacres that happened between the years 1637 and 1662, when John Mason, a Puritan captain, led troops to destroy and demolish the Pequot population to make room for their people and take their land. The Pequot were almost all completely destroyed, with some 600 deceased, and is known to be one of the most intense Indian massacres in history. The Osage tribe is known for their spiritual lifestyle and abilities to hunt and fight. They hunted buffalo in the western areas of America before European civilization began to settle in 1670. The 1870s to the 1920s were known as the Reign of Terror. In the late 1890s, the Osage grew rich as they settled on Oklahoma's land containing a huge amount of oil that brought them much wealth. This drew a lot of attention to the Osage, and unfortunately this put a target on their backs from the greedy white Americans that sought to kill off the Osage one by one and try to get their profits. This is essentially what Killers of the Flower Moon is all about. The interpretation of Native American culture is featured in a wide range of film and television. Dating back to the 30s and 40s, American Western films were a popular genre for audiences. Cowboys were typically gunslinging heroes, and Native Americans were often portrayed as the enemy.
Besides, it ain't supposed to be easy to sneak up behind an Indian.
I'm an Indian, all right. But here in the nation, they call us the civilized tribe. White men have been sneaking up on us for years.
Cherokee, huh?
Yeah. They sneaked up on us and they told us we wouldn't be happy here. They said we would be happier in the nations. So they took away our land and sent us here.
Family films such as Pocahontas interpreted the real-life Native American girl during the time of colonialism and her connection with John Smith. In reality, most of the story was fictionalized, and though it would be cool, there were never any talking trees. There are shows that use satire to depict the horrors of Native American history, such as Parks and Recreation.
Wow.
Oh yeah, this is our crown jewel. It's one of our best murals. It depicts the very famous battle at Coniga Creek. We have a lot of children visit, so often we have to cover up the more gruesome parts with a poster.
That is horrifying.
Yes, it is.
Osage leader Standing Bear is quoted in saying that the representation of his people has been inaccurate from Hollywood for years. Marlon Brando was one of the most influential faces of Hollywood for his time, including his globally known performance in The Godfather. His passion for aiding the Native American voice throughout his career was substantial, and he tried to do something about the misinterpretation in Hollywood.
I'm representing Marlon Brando this evening, and he has asked me to tell you in a very long speech, which I cannot share with you presently because of time, but I will be glad to share with the press afterwards that he very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry, excuse me,
I want to tell you in simple chapter and verse that I have tried to get on before the American public, before the world, a movie about the American Indians and the manner in which we committed as a country genocide upon those people. And I have been told to go take a flying you-know-what at a rolling donut.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true. For 10 years I've tried to do it. I've written so many scripts. I have gone with so many networks and to so many movie studios with this tale. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear that America followed a policy of genocide. General Grant, one of our great heroes in America, called for the destruction, the annihilation of these people. We're in here to make money. We're not here to make wonderful pictures about social and controversial issues. Well, we better do that now because we live at a time when if we don't address those controversial and social issues, then we're all going to go down the tube, and the cockroach is going to be the evolutionary hero.
I think the best way to go about explaining Killers of the Flower Moon and its impact is to let the characters and the creators of it speak on it themselves. I think a big part of this project was the involvement of the Osage people, which is very important to the story, and I think Martin Scorsese, as a director, really cares about his characters, and in dealing with these real topics, I commend him for doing such a great job.
Early, it being the movie, early on, I asked Mr. Scorsese, how are you going to approach this story? And he said, I'm going to tell a story about trust between Molly and Ernest, trust between the outside world and the Osage, and a betrayal of those trusts, deep betrayal. And my people suffered greatly, and to this day, to this very day, those effects are with us. But I can say, on behalf of the Osage, Marty Scorsese and his team have restored trust, and we know that trust will not be betrayed.
All of this seemed to come together in the room. It really did. And I think it came from the heart.
Especially how the Osage community embraced us telling this story, gave us the trust in our adaptation of the novel, and to have them here with us side by side to tell such a personal tragedy to their entire community was a beautiful moment. And I just took a lot of mental pictures. It was something that I'm never going to forget.
And I had some meetings with the Osage and some dinners at Grey Horse and, of course, in Pawhuska. And they got up and spoke. And I learned a lot about them in those 3 hours. I learned about the people themselves and the stories, and they're all related to each other. And there's still relations, and there's still issues. And so-and-so was in love. No, he wasn't. Yes, she was. No, and it goes on like that. As far as taking risks at this age, what else can I do? What am I going to do? I don't know. What do they want me to do? I don't understand. You take a risk. No, let's go do something comfortable. Are you kidding?
To that being said, Killers of the Flower Moon will go on to be one of the films that Native Americans have as far as an accurate representation of their culture, and I'm happy to say that hopefully in the future we continue to see more films like this, as the Native American culture is beautiful and extremely interesting to learn about.